the vet with Image for her first puppy checkup with Dr. Todd, and True to get his foot checked. He sliced it about a week ago and it's still open and not really icky, but just want to make sure that it's healing up the way it should be. Here's True, likes to come busting out of this crate. He likes to go places and visit, see where he can pee on something. Come on. Now it's Image's turn to come get out of the crate and see the world. I can't let her down out here. She hasn't had her second set of shots yet. The reason I can't let her down is if any other dogs have been sick, she can get something from them. It's just safety reasons for her. When you come to the vet, it's better not to let your dog come on a flexi lead and run up to other dogs' faces, and you just never know if they're going to be sick, aggressive, what have you. A puppy's first visit to the veterinarian is important for a number of reasons, not the least of which is that it sets the tone for how they'll behave towards situations like this for the rest of their lives. A lot of things can take place during a puppy's first visit. Here are some of the things that you can expect. A physical exam. The vet checks over the puppy's body, skin, coat, eyes, ears, nose, and mouth for unusual discharges or other signs of disease or parasites. They look at vision, weight, hearing, and the general level of alertness. Any number of these things can tell the veterinarian that there may be something going on with your puppy if they see cloudy vision, or they can't hear when they clap next to them, or whistle, call their name, etc. Vaccinations. Because puppies are susceptible to a number of diseases and conditions after the antibodies in their mother's milk wears off at about 6 weeks, they need to be vaccinated to protect their body from preventable diseases. 4 vaccines are commonly recommended and sometimes required for puppies. These are distemper, canine hepatitis, canine parvovirus, and rabies. Along with critical vaccines, and those are the 4 that are typically critical, are some non-essential vaccines. They're typically tailored to diseases that might crop up in specific geographic regions, or for dogs with a particular susceptibility to certain diseases. So older dogs or really young dogs can get some things that adult in the prime of their life dogs won't get. One of those vaccines is Bordetella, the kennel cough. So some dogs will never see another dog, or very few, so it doesn't matter if they're protected for the other strains. But for puppies and for dogs that are going to be doing agility or therapy or show dogs, where any number of dogs are congregating, it's important that you talk to your veterinarian about what they recommend, so that way they can balance what should be given and what maybe can be avoided if you're not going to be doing certain things. Those vaccines usually start around 6 weeks, and they're followed by boosters every 3 to 4 weeks until they're about 4 months old. After that, the vet will schedule future booster vaccines as needed. They also do a fecal exam, a deworming if necessary, and flea and tick prevention they do talk to you about while you're there. In most cases, the veterinarian will ask for a stool sample to perform a fecal exam. A lot of things can be determined about the puppy's health through a stool sample. One common concern is roundworm. According to Novartis Animal Health of Canada, about 95% of puppies born in the US and Canada are infected with roundworm. And as a result, those puppies need deworming medication. Usually either a powder that goes on their food or a simple pill that you give them one, and then a couple weeks later you give them another, or in the case of the powder, you give it to them and it's every day for a few days. Easy peasy. Protecting the puppy from fleas and ticks is also important because they can carry diseases that not only affect the dog but can infect humans. Some flea and tick products are designed for puppies as young as 8 weeks old. Ask your vet to recommend products that are tailored to your specific needs when in doubt. Vital signs and stats. The puppy will be weighed and their temperature checked. Normal temperature for a puppy is between 100 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit. The veterinarian will also check breathing, listen for heart rate and lung issues, and examine the puppy's internal organs by palpation or by feeling. They will also smell your puppy's breath, as certain infections and parasites can cause a dog to smell differently. The vet will check the puppy's genitals. In the case of males, this is to make sure that both testicles are there, and in females that there's no sign of infection. An oral exam, the vet checks the mouth, opens their mouths and checks their teeth and gums to make sure they look like they should. Puppy gums should be nice and pink chewing gum colored with those little needle teeth in there. So good luck doing it at home if you're going to check to see things are okay at home. Microchipping. A microchip is like an ID tag about the size of a grain of rice injected under their skin between your dog's shoulder blades. It contains information about you and your pet. If your canine companion is ever lost and returned to a shelter or vet's office, they can scan that microchip and it identifies who needs to be contacted so the pet can be returned to you. Microchips are based on a one-time fee that adds your information to a database. However, some companies provide additional services along with the microchip for additional annual fees. Pets that are microchipped still need to wear an ID tag and follow local licensing laws. Puppies gain immunity from their mother's milk for a period of time, like that 6 weeks in the very beginning. That's when they start giving their vaccines. But they then must develop their own immunity. There is a window of vulnerability where it is best not to expose the puppy to too much at once. Because their immunity has not yet developed fully and there are other dogs concentrated at the vet, it's important to carry your puppy in during their first visit and possibly their second, depending on how old they are, and don't let them interact with other dogs. The veterinary staff should take precautions like sterilizing exam tables and washing their hands, and are using gloves between patients. It's important to stay calm and positive when you go to the vet's office, especially that first time. There's a saying that stress travels down the leash, and it is true that dogs are tuned into people's reactions for cues on how they should react. The calmer you are, the more the puppy will adapt to the new experiences. So if you're calm, generally the puppy will be calm. If you are agitated or upset, the puppy may be agitated or upset. And another good advice on that, if you're nervous, eat a breath mint. The smell of your breath changes once you get stressed, and that is another signal to the puppy. So it may not just be body language, it could also be the smell that changes from you if you're stressed. And the same goes for the veterinarian. The veterinarian's disposition is important. The vet and the vet staff should act as your partner in making the puppy's first experiences as fun and positive as possible, or at least to help them cope well with a scary situation by remaining both calm and assertive. If you have difficulty remaining calm, it may be best to turn the puppy over to the professionals once you arrive, as the vet's office will have experience with the process of how to handle new puppies. The vet wants and needs to build a relationship with the animal so the animal is not overly stressed by being handled in sometimes discomforting ways. It may sound counterintuitive, but it is important not to be overprotective because that can trigger aggression. A positive, matter-of-fact, deal with it attitude helps your puppy adjust to the social interactions they will need to contend with throughout their lives. I make my dogs deal with a lot of things in certain situations. Just when we go to the vet, it is, you will stand there and you will deal with things. Sorry about your luck, kind of a no sympathy attitude, but that's because I need them to be accepting. If I say it's okay, then they need to go. And they need to be okay with going with the technician. What happens if they ever have to stay at the vet overnight? You need them to not be cage aggressive or be worried about the people coming to take care of them when you're not. I did not let Image pee at the vet because at the vet there could be communicable diseases or diseases that they can pick up from other animals. So we are going to let her go to the bathroom here because we haven't had any. I mean, you know what has come to your property. You can't control the wildlife, but it's less likely that they'll carry something to give to her than another dog at the vet's office will. So here we go, little girl. Let's go pee.
After they either click or don't click, you can just make the video pop up. Thank you for subscribing on the Social Pet.